Dear Dad, the guard brought me a letter today. The guards treat us pretty well in jail here, but once in a while one of them calls us cowards and communists for burning our draft cards. I'm frightened, Dad. I feel so alone, so empty inside. When I read your letter, the part where you said if I burn my draft card, I should burn my birth certificate too, because I'd no longer be your son. When I read that, Dad, I cried and cried. What's happened to us, Dad? You and I were never very close. When I was a boy, it seemed like you were always away working. And when you were home, you were usually too busy to have much to do with me. The only time I remember when I felt you really cared for me was that time I got lost in the woods back of the house. Remember? I was 7 years old. You came looking for me, and you found me sitting under that big pine tree, scared and sobbing. I still remember the look of relief on your face when you saw me. You came up to me, and there were tears in your eyes. You picked me up and held me tight against you and took me home. I feel lost now, Dad. What's happened to us? We just haven't been able to talk to each other. The older I got, the more you and I ended up arguing when we did try to talk. I always felt that you wanted me to do things your way, that you never understood me or what I wanted. Whenever we disagreed about anything, you would always tell me, I know more about these things than you do. And you usually did. But it was the way you would cut me off with these words instead of trying to understand me. I'm not just blaming you, Dad. Maybe I haven't understood you. Maybe I've taken you for granted. After a while, I began to resent you when you were home. I saw you as someone to get favors from, not to do anything for. You always seemed so sure of yourself, as if nothing bothered you. Maybe you had concerns and problems of your own, but how would I know? I never asked you. You say that Mom loves me no matter what I do because she's a woman. That's just it, Dad. I need you to love me if I'm going to be a man. I've counted on Mom too much in the past. I need to count on you. You say that God is not dead, that God is love. I don't know that much about God. I can't see Him, but I can see you. How can I feel that He's alive and loves me if you don't love me as your son anymore? I'm frightened, Dad. I feel so lonely. I burned my draft card and I'm in jail. I need you now more than I ever have before.
Hey God, I saw you on TV last night. You were on just before the station signed off with the Star-Spangled Banner. You may not like me saying this, God, but the Star-Spangled Banner has a higher rating on TV than you do. You've got to do something about your image, God. Some of those ministers, priests, and rabbis are really doing a job on you with their long faces and canned prayers. And that sign you had on TV last night, keep circulating the rumor that God is alive. Really, God. Is that the best you can do? Hey, everybody. Have you heard the rumor? God is alive. I know you have problems with the God is dead boys, but that sign isn't going to help your image any. What's killing you is your own irrelevance, not someone else's irreverence. Frankly, God, if you're going to get with it, some images of you need to die, I'm talking about your image as a ghetto God who keeps his white and Negro children from each other. Then there's that image of you as a parochial God who plays favorites with his children. And your image as an American God who is always on the right side. Not to mention your image as a stained glass God who doesn't want to look at the suffering and injustice in the world beyond the sanctuary. Why, even much of your music hurts your image because it's too old for the now beat of life. These images of you have to go, God, if you're going to make it big on TV and in real life. We human beings need a new image of you. We need a God who's with it. Yeah, a God who's big enough to care for all his children, and who can get all his children to care for each other. Know what I mean, God?